Okay. So we're going to go into this reaction to my denims video, I believe.
So Ethan in his, what's the word for it? I'm trying to think. Crusade against these people is going absolutely ape about this. So he's been suing them. And here we go. It's a crusade.
So let's just go ahead and start with Frogie. Of course, I've got my PP. Now it's the same PP, but I'm going to do it differently and do it kind of special for you guys. So
Frogan gives
this is a very special PP because it's live. So let's talk about this. Frogan is literally about to default early next week. What has she done with the 50K she raised? We have not heard from her or her attorney at all.
What a flop.
He has like 5 days to respond to our.
Now this is obviously changed, right? So the situation's changed. They have heard from her. Good job, Frogie. I literally bet that she saw this clip. She saw my video, which I made before August 1st, and her lawyer called. I'm not kidding you guys. I think her lawyer called Ethan Klein because of my video. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. I think this video that I put out, because I put it out before before then, I'm 100% certain that they saw that. And by the way, I'm glad Frogan did that because it shows that she's amenable, that she's able to amenable, that word that Ethan doesn't know, Ethan Klein doesn't know, amendable, whatever. But she's open, right? She is open, and even if it's a crack, if you're able to open that crack and open that crack sounds so bad. If you're able to open yourself up to settling with somebody and just making this go away, I think that's the best solution for you. I think you save yourself a lot of trouble. And I know some people in the chat are saying, damn it, Andrew, you shouldn't have said anything. Yes, look, you can have your personal feelings about Frogan. I've got my personal feelings about Frogan. This channel is not about personal feelings. It's about the law. It's about the law. And it's about being honest about an objective about what the law is. And even with people that are maybe people that I ideologically disagree with, I don't care. I'm trying to be objective about the legal reality. And doing this is way better than if she went through default judgment. If she went through default judgment, that's not good. That's not good. And now that's probably not going to happen. Our complaint where she loses by default.
She loses.
And this was last night.
Wow.
And this was last night. So it's probably down to 4 days. It's probably down to 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So after this came from Ethan. So this is from Ethan, right? This was the Snarkers. And this is one of the most legally inaccurate takes. That's one of the most legally inaccurate.
Wow, what a surprise. A Redditor doesn't know what they're talking about. Can you believe that?
Takes ever.
Yeah, nobody is surprised. Literally nobody is surprised.
Okay. This
No
is
way.
Snarkers. Can't wait to see the case.
Ethan with Scorched Earth. It's going to get worse.
Missed after Fro. What is she like? First of all, who calls her Fro? Like when I hear them call her Fro, it sounds like she's Froyo. Okay, like I can't
that ice
not
cream
think
shit.
That she's frozen yogurt.
Oh.
So let's get into it. After Fro files a motion to quash after being improperly served.
Yeah.
This dude is such.
I never.
By the way, you can tell that he's never eaten Froyo. You can tell he's never eaten Froyo. You can tell this guy's never gone for Froyo, which means he did not have like. I remember there's a time at which like that was trending. So I was. I would go eat like Froyo. Like all the girls would be like, "Oh, let's go eat Froyo," and I'm like, "Oh God!" Especially at my law firm, all the female attorneys would all want to get Froyo, and it was so ridiculous, like Pinkberry and all that sort of stuff. Oh God, I remember that.
Ever eat that? Like there was some like rich white people area that my ex-girlfriend wanted me to go to,
See,
and she wanted me to buy her one of them.
There you go.
I refused to even eat a single bite.
That's it.
I would not eat it.
That's it.
I already have ice cream. I don't need another one. I will not.
An idiot. He has all of his money and doesn't know what to do with it. So therefore,
ice cream like a normal
lack
person.
of a lawyer
Tastes gay.
is just taking it from him.
I knew it.
LMAO. This is really funny. Okay, well, first of all,
this dude is such an idiot. He has all the money and doesn't know what to do with it. Therefore, his quack of a lawyer. Oh God.
Let's correct the record. All lawyers are greedy, money sucking.
That's right.
Soulless.
Whenever I heard this is why I wanted to go to law school.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm with it right there. I don't take that as a bad thing, right? Like, to be objective means you do have to put aside your emotions, and you do have to tamp those down, and you do have to be able to even argue for at times you're essentially arguing for the devil in some people's eyes, right? You're arguing for people that other people view as purely evil, but there are certain principles as a society which we agree on, and therefore we work together to defend those principles and values, right? Such as innocent until proven guilty, right? But yeah, I'm here, and listen, man, I would be here for the Asmon legal arc. I would love for Asmon to go to law school and be the next law tuber. That'd be great. That'd be great. I'd support that. I fully support them. Quacks. No, they're all crazy in a special way. All the lawyers are crazy in a special way. But beyond that,
as soon as I realized that,
procedurally inaccurate and completely wrong. And I'm going to explain how this is just completely wrong.
You're quack? No, the reason actually was because I played Magic the Gathering. My friend Jason knew all the rules so well that he could manipulate the rules to make himself win in disputes where he shouldn't have won. But I couldn't argue against it because I didn't know the rules as well as him. And so I thought that if I could learn the legal code, I could manipulate people in the world in a way that he could manipulate Magic the Gathering.
This is 100% true, guys. This is 500% true. Magic the Gathering is actually one that is very much related to rules. So there are players that know all of the rules and don't, and the ones that know the rules have such an advantage over the ones that don't. So as more rules are added, the players that know and are able to memorize all of the rules autistically, and I don't say that in a bad way, that's actually an appreciative way, they're able to win, right? Because they've got an encyclopedic memory of all the rules. I really didn't care. I just wanted to have fun, right? And I just thought about it like a fun little puzzle to figure out. Right. So, my friends played, so I just want to have fun with my friends. Right. But yeah, he's completely right about this. If you're able to manipulate the rules, you are able to manipulate reality. And the people, and this is very true, in power, and the people that have the resources, which aren't just, by the way, resources are not just money. Resources are connections. Resources are time, right? Certain people are able to manipulate things because they find a rule and they exploit it. Oftentimes, people become rich because they find one rule that they can exploit. They can find an exception to or a way to get around it, and they become millionaires or billionaires, overnight, because they find an exception. They find one thing and they're able to manipulate that rule. First of all, let's explain what a default judgment is. Okay. Default judgment is a court ruling in favor of the plaintiff, typically because the defendant does not file a defense, or the defendant doesn't acknowledge.
They don't even know what happened.
If you just want to stick your head in the sand and pretend you don't know what's going on, you're likely going to get a default judgment. Now,
so it's not like it's even going to get thrown out. The only person that's going to get thrown out is Frogan.
There are certain circumstances in which not receiving service is a real thing.
Yeah.
However,
that's why they have to
in
serve
this
you
case,
papers.
Ethan Klein has multiple methods. He can, obviously have what we call hand deliveries when you're hand serviced, but there's also service by publication. So you can publish it in a newspaper of general circulation.
That's right.
And that can generally get back and serve the service. And beyond that,
she acknowledged it. She should have never acknowledged it.
Now, one thing to point out here, which I need to be very clear about. Acknowledging on social media isn't necessarily acceptance of service, but it shows really bad faith in terms of service. So it is not a good look, although legally, because you acknowledge the existence of a lawsuit, sometimes in certain circumstances, that's not enough to qualify as service of process. However, the federal courts, state courts are different. There's different states that are different, right? So there's a variance there. It depends on what type of lawsuit it is, right? If it's a regulatory thing, if it's criminal, civil, right? So these things all make a difference in terms of service of process. But now, remember, now this has been cured. This has now been fixed. So this problem has been fixed, but this is still a good lesson on default judgment. Know that Frogan knows about this lawsuit.
Of course.
Like, it's not something that Frogan doesn't know about. It's very public. So it's very clear what's going on here to a judge. that Frogan is trying to dodge.
She already
this.
started
Frogan is
to find
trying
me.
to
Yeah,
evade
it's
this,
over.
right? And
She
Ethan
knows.
Klein,
She knows that. Everybody knows that.
this default judgment, this court ruling in favor of the plaintiff, he would win without Frogan ever having a chance to assert defense. So Frogan, even if she gets this default judgment, so even if the court ends up ultimately siding with Ethan Klein and saying, hey, default judgment. And remember, with a default judgment, that isn't a win for Klein. He gets what he wants. So he'll get damages, whatever else
It's
he
like
wants.
if your team quits the game in the middle of a match, you still win the match, but it's like you don't
video,
really
whatever
win.
he wants. He's going to get that by default. Just say, well, this person's not fighting back. So, okay. And then he can proceed if she doesn't do anything. Can proceed to collecting on that judgment at a certain point. However, Frogi Yogi does have a potential opportunity to challenge the default judgment.
Of course.
She does that with an objection to the default judgment, which is a motion to set aside. So she can make a motion to set aside the default judgment. Now, she does need to have a valid excuse, right? So not receiving the claim could be if
you set up a GoFundMe, you talked about it. That is not gonna happen.
If the service, all types of service were invalid. But I guarantee you that at least one type of service that they used on this, whether it was, hand delivery or publication or some sort of substitute service, was legally sufficient to provide notice of service or sufficient service to proceed with the case.
Well, she already
They're
knew
not
it.
going to issue the default judgment typically if there was completely bunk service. But the burden would be on Frogi to prove that. And beyond that,
there's no way she can prove that, especially if he said it and she acknowledged it the entire time.
You'd have to have something like illness or extreme emergency. And as far as we know, in the Frogan case, Frogan is not in the hospital. Frogan is not under extreme emergency. Frogan was not in a crisis zone.
Well, I think that she is. I mean, the rents probably do, and that's not going so well, I would assume. But she does have that extra $35,000.
And how is she spent? The big question, which I still have, is how is she spent that $35,000? How?
Maybe things will be okay.
She's not somewhere where bad stuff is going down.
Yeah, surely.
Right. And or she'd have to prove a procedural error.
Unless the judge is sympathetic to Frogan. What do you think?
But not on procedure, right? The judges on procedure are very neutral. And now when it gets to the substance of the claim, yes, it's possible. But on procedure, they're really not going to have those same biases. So that's where I don't think there's a chance.
Do you think the judges are going to be sympathetic to Frogan?
Right? However, she has to respond to do this. And that response has to be very prompt and persuasive. So she'd have to do that anyway.
Oh, that's good. So she's going to have to
go back, write the court, and explain why she did not respond before, etc. And the judge is not obliged to accept that. The judge can say, I don't accept this. We're still sticking with the default judgment. Now, here's the thing. Here's the biggest thing. And here's where the snarkers are completely wrong. This is where the snarkers just are completely...
Wait, so are you telling me that a bunch of random Redditors with no degree or any sort of knowledge in
yes, I am, Asmon. Yes, I am.
This topic whatsoever actually don't know what they're talking about?
Yes.
There's no way.
Yes.
This might be the first time that's happened.
Stupid. Is even if Frogi objects to the default, and even if the judge grants her motion, if everything goes the same way, you know what the end result is?
She's paying
you know
Ethan
what the
money.
end result
That's the end result.
is? It's not the case being dropped, kids. It's the case proceeding as normal.
Man.
So if Frogan goes through all this extra work, all she's going to do
is make it happen anyway.
See, this, guys, I sincerely believe that this is why Frogan contacted Ethan Klein's lawyer. I mean, I know I'm trying to be too much egotistical, but I do think they watch this and they're like, you know what? You're right about this. Let's just go ahead and do this. Andrew's right here. Old legal mindset. He's making a good point here. This is 100% true. Let's just go ahead and be, collaborative, because us being obstructionist
isn't going to get us anywhere. Us putting our head in the sand isn't going to get into this, right? It's crazy. Have the case proceed as normal. Literally, somebody in the chat said it. Who said it here? Square one. It's back at square one. Congratulations, Frogan. You literally did nothing. You do all this work for freaking nothing. Wow, Queen. Wow. So smart. Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
Slay.
Sigma. Right. We're just going crazy here. We're just going crazy. But let's also talk about the money. The money. So here's our lovely Frogie. And she's got, her legal defense fund at this point at $35K. She also had other donations from other places. So I believe,
$35,000. That's a lot of money.
Was around $50K.
Oh, her goal was $200,000 though.
She didn't even get to her goal. She is not going to hit that goal. She is not hitting that goal right now.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Not so good, huh?
Okay. He's tracking this closer than I am. So let's just assume that it's 50K,
He is.
She's got at least 35K here. But she had this legal defense fund. And my concern is, what about the money? What did you do with the cash, Frogan? What did you do with the cash?
Where's the money, Lebowski?
Not spending all that money on your lawsuit. And so the question is, where is that money going, Frogan? Where is it going, Frogan?
Everybody knows.
Don't say it. Where is that money going, Frogan? Is that going to your muffin budget? Because it's certainly not going into responding to the claims, right? Certainly not going to respond to the claims. And what happens if the funds were diverted? Once again, I listen. I tease and love here. Okay, obviously she's now corrected the error of her ways. Okay, that was a gentle tease. Okay, maybe some people might think it's a little harsh, but it was meant to be playful. Okay, to purposes other than the legal defense, that's a possible crime. That's a possible crime.
Well, it's obviously, I mean, you're raising money for something and then you don't even spend the money on it.
Correct.
Like, you're misleading people. Absolutely. It's bullshit.
Theft by deception.
Not right. It ain't right.
Pretenses, fraud. This is a type of fraud. Also wire fraud. So we're talking about potential theft or fraud. Did it go?
So what if she raises? Wait a minute. So are we in a universe where if by her raising money for this legal defense, and then she doesn't actually meet it and defend herself, she could actually end up losing 2 court cases at...
Yes. We are in a universe where if she doesn't actually properly use that money, that could happen. Now, it seems like she's on the right track. Good job, Frogan. It seems like, by the way, Frogan is working on not misusing her legal fund. Good job, Frogan. I'm proud of you, girl. Because now a lot of this analysis is just for funsies. A lot of this analysis is now outdated. So a lot of this analysis is outdated. She probably is paying her lawyer now. So as long as she is paying her lawyer and not misdirecting those funds, we're not going to have a problem. It should go, as Danielle said, into an IOLTA account, right? Very much should go into that.
At the same time. So for the Nux Taku video is going to be Frogan is now 200%.
That's so true. That's definitely nuts.
And for once he'd be right.
We don't know. And once again, this is speculation.
Yeah,
this is speculation. So out there, let me be very clear.
Nobody knows.
Speculating. It's a question I'm asking, and I don't know. And we need to know, where's the money, Frogan? What are you doing? The other thing is, if she was misdirecting these funds, she could be fined. There can be restitution, right? Meaning the money is returned to the people that donated.
So the money gets returned to everybody.
Yes.
She loses the lawsuit against Ethan.
Yes.
And she also gets in trouble for fraud.
Yes, that's possible. It's all possible. It's all
Guys,
possible.
I don't think I can take this much winning.
It can even be prison time. So we need to figure out what's going on with that money.
There's no way.
Last night, this was the language last night. Tell me if she changed this language. Because I highlighted this, and this is what was up last night, as of last night. Okay.
So after 2 years of target harassment campaign against me, Ethan Klein has now escalated it into suing me for reacting to his video on Hassan and myself
Yeah, she goes
on
live.
his video titled Content Nuke Hassan Piker. This fundraiser to cover any and all legal fees associated with this complaint and any counterclaims I have against them. So
Yes.
stop there. So far, she
clearly states what it's for. She says this is what the league. This is what
Yes, and this is what is legally looked at, is what she is saying it is for.
this fundraiser is for.
as we know,
Not muffins.
she has not paid any
It
legal
is not
fees,
for
and
muffins.
she definitely hasn't filed any counterclaims.
Yes.
So as to these two, they're wrong. Now, here's the part
No.
where
Zero
we
muffins.
might get into some debate. This next part, the part I underlined. She
Personal
puts
expenses.
any other bills, and personal expenses. So she's going to argue, oh, I can put food under that.
It's true. It's true. I'm not joking. Asmongold thinks I'm fucking around here. Personal food is a personal expense. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be. Look, I'm not trying to be weird. Food is a personal expense. Okay, it can be. It's possible if it's arising from lost wages and damages. And now she's going to argue that, oh, I'm now litigating, so I'm going to take a break, and that's lost wages and damages, so I can eat, do whatever I want. I can buy makeup and I can buy food, right? That's totally possible. Seriously. I think I killed him. I think I killed him on this one.
What if she comes back and there's like 50 Labubus behind her?
That's good.
I can put makeup under that because I need to look pretty for litigation.
Bro,
I can do all this sort of stuff. That's a personal expense. I can pay for like 22 layers of cover up, right?
Yeah.
Under personal expense, because that's a personal expense. But the problem is, and then the rest of the sentence, from lost wages and damages arising from this litigation.
Yes.
Well, the question is, when you have arising from, if you're not participating in the litigation, if you're not fighting back, there's no litigation to speak of. Therefore, it's not arising from.
I'm glad he got it.
That is what she's saying.
I'm glad he got it.
He's right. Fucking got him.
Yep.
Gotcha. There it is.
Yep.
That's grammar. That's right.
And that's where her own message probably got her. She probably listened to this. Her lawyer listened to this and was like, Frogan, called her up, was like, Frogan, mindset's right. We need to pay me and we need to do this thing, right?
Litigation. So despite the fact that personal expenses is here and that might be valid, it's in connection with the litigation. It's not personal expenses for her to go on a personal trip, right? Or her to go buy a sandwich or whatever, Chipotle. It's not for any of that.
Okay, let me fast forward. I'm going to fast forward to
East Head Entertainment to serve third-party subpoenas prior to Rule 26F conference. So this is literally, remember, as a reminder, disloyal denims literally betrayed the Reddit mods. She stabbed them in the back.
That's right. She roached out on all of them. I forgot all about this.
She did that.
Refused to defend them at all.
That's right.
She completely sacrificed
Skipping
them
over to
to the
denims
corn in order to get this moving along.
Sure.
Right? And she gave up all of their information. She said, you know what? You can subpoena them. You can get all their information.
Wow. See, this is what I'm saying, bro. When the well runs dry, the people begin to eat each other. And as soon as famine strikes, as soon as there's trouble in paradise, suddenly all of this solidarity instantly disappears, and it's every man for himself.
This is why these people are going to fold
Disloyal
like
denims.
a sack of cards. They have no loyalty for each other. They
Wow.
don't care for each other at all. All of this, we're one big community. We're one big proletariat. That falls apart.
That's exactly what I said.
Falls apart immediately.
Yes.
When push comes to shove. Very true.
What a surprise. Wow. What a surprise.
Very true. Pushing
Who could
each
have
other in
guessed?
front of the firing squad. Right.
Bro.
When push comes to shove. They're pushing each other in front of the firing squad.
Oh my God.
It's so true. It's 100% true.
I love it.
It's 100% true.
It doesn't get better than that.
And this one was like number 2 on gaming. So I saw this come up
pushing
here
each other in front of the firing squad. And we see this with them.
Unreal. He's cooking. He is.
Completely under the bus.
Upon consideration of the joint stipulation granting plaintiff leave to serve third-party subpoenas prior to the Rule 26F conference
To entertain Inc. and defendant Alexandra Marwa Saber, PK Denims.
Nope.
Dirty Denims. And for good cause shown, the court hereby rules as follows. The stipulation is granted.
Wow.
TEI, that's Ethan Klein, may immediately serve the subpoena attached as Exhibit A to the stipulation on the third-party Reddit, that's so Reddit in general, accompanied by this order, and shall include the date of the Reddit subpoena. It was issued in the
Reminder, before Stalin starved 40 million Christians to death, he executed all the useful idiots that helped him gain power. Hey, Saddam had a great role model. What can I say? Bro, he had the vision.
data compliance, and they may also serve subpoena on Discord. Uh-oh. Granted by Wesley L. Hugh, Sue, maybe, a United States District Judge on July 31st. So the point of the matter here is that we have a official subpoena of Discord and Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
And Discord and Reddit, I'm telling you right now, and I know this, I have friends that are civil litigators. I've seen this in other cases that we've studied, etc. Discord.
So we have an individual here. The law shouldn't apply to pretty women. For Ethan is a twitchy, ugly beast. He's fucking gross. You don't care about this lawsuit. You just hate Jews. LOL. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. Well, there it is. Oh my God. And ban and move on. Yeah, I think that's probably the right option. And again, I love how they don't feed the poor. Google it. What does that have to do with anything? Do you think that Ethan has a legit... Let me ask you something before you're getting banned. You're obviously getting banned. You know you're getting banned. Do you think that Ethan has a legitimate lawsuit on these two individuals? Do you think that he has a lawsuit on them or not? It says no, not at all. Yeah. So you don't really care. You're calling him ugly. You're saying he's a Jew. The law shouldn't apply to pretty women. Are an angry simp. You're an angry simp that hates Jews, that hopefully thinks that now it's popular to hate Jews. And so maybe if I say this, I'll get attention from girls. Sorry, Ricky. Your time is over. You're done.
Cohorts leaked your Discord messages to us. We have some of your Discord IDs, and guess what? Morgan, if anyone's gonna have your real identity, it's gonna be right there. We're gonna have
that's it. Hold on, let's play it one more time.
Messages to us.
This is something that a lot of people don't understand. If the court wants to find out who was behind an account, they're gonna do it.
Yes,
they're gonna figure it out. And it's probably going to take them about a day. They'll just be like, okay, so where was the account made? All right, so the account was from this IP address. Okay, well, who's the provider of the IP address? Okay, it's this person. Well, I'll just call them up. Okay, well, we've got a court order for this IP address. What's the name and information? Okay, there it is. So they live there? Okay, all right, well, we'll just go over there and see who it is. Yeah.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
are
VPN.
people are way too comfortable about internet anonymity. Way too comfortable.
Have your real identity, it's going to be right there.
That's
We're going
gonna
to have
take
all
2
your
days.
messages,
It might
all your
take 2
messages.
days. Discord.
And
Yeah.
listen, don't try to erase them. If you erase them now, it's not going to look good.
No, it won't.
You guys remember that? You guys remember what that is?
Mhm.
Now, obstruction. It can't be obstruction. It can be obstruction, but spoliation of evidence.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. That is exactly right. You guys in the class paying attention. So let's continue. Let's play the rest of this. It's spelled SBOL. So, anyways, that's the Asmongold video. Great stuff. I was glad. Like, you know, what was really cool about this video? That Asmon was like genuinely interested in the legal aspects, and I feel like I'm teaching you guys in chat firsthand, but like Asmon's actually getting educated now. So like he's able to be a better presenter on these topics, which is great. And so hopefully I can go and do more deep topics or the stuff like that and talk about these sort of things as they come up. So it's really fun, and it's really fun to see other streamers talking about this. So yeah, we'll get into it.